550 million euros. $629 million. That's the fine one online marketplace just got hit with, and the reason isn't just that dangerous products were being sold. It's that the platform's own algorithm was actively pushing those products into shoppers' hands. This is the story of how AliExpress became the target of the largest fine in the history of European tech regulation, and what it reveals about the hidden cost of cheap goods shipped straight from a warehouse to your door. Let's set the scene. AliExpress is the consumer-facing marketplace owned by Chinese e-commerce giant Alibaba, part of the same wave of ultra-cheap, direct-from-China shopping platforms that also includes Temu and Shein. You know the pitch. Ridiculously low prices, endless product variety, and a checkout process that makes it dangerously easy to buy things you didn't know you needed. That business model exploded in popularity over the last several years, especially in Europe, where cost of living pressure made rock-bottom prices even more appealing. But that same explosive growth put these platforms directly in the crosshairs of European regulators. In 2022, the European Union introduced the Digital Services Act, a sweeping law designed to force large online platforms to take real responsibility for what happens on their sites, from harmful content to, critically, dangerous and illegal products. Under this law, the biggest platforms, officially called very large online platforms, face the strictest tier of obligations. AliExpress was designated one of these platforms back in 2023, which meant regulators started watching closely. In 2024, the European Commission formally opened an investigation into AliExpress. By June 2025, preliminary findings had already flagged serious problems. And on July 19, 2026, the Commission issued its final ruling. The number attached to that ruling, 550 million euros, instantly became the largest single penalty ever issued under the Digital Services Act. So, what did investigators actually find? This is the part that should genuinely concern anyone who shops on these platforms. It wasn't simply that unsafe or counterfeit products existed somewhere in AliExpress's massive catalog. That's almost inevitable at this scale. The real issue was that the platform's own recommendation algorithm was actively amplifying these listings, functioning less like a safety filter and more like a personal shopper steering customers straight toward counterfeit clothing, dangerous cosmetics, and unsafe toys. Millions of non-compliant listings reportedly stayed live even after being flagged. The European Commission's tech chief, Henna Virkkunen, put it bluntly, saying the spread of these products isn't an unavoidable cost of shopping online. It's a failure by AliExpress to comply with its legal obligations. And here's where the story gets bigger than just one company. This fine didn't come out of nowhere. It's part of a clear pattern. Just months earlier, in May 2026, Temu was fined 200 million euros for similar violations. And before that, in December 2025, Elon Musk's platform X was fined 120 million euros under the same law. Each fine has been larger than the last, and AliExpress's penalty more than doubles what Temu received. Brussels is sending an unmistakable message to massive platforms of every kind. Algorithms are not exempt from accountability just because a human didn't personally approve every single listing. AliExpress, for its part, is pushing back hard. The company has said it plans to appeal, calling the fine disproportionate and pointing to what it describes as a sound risk management framework along with significant proactive improvements it claims to have already made. That's a fair rebuttal to at least consider. Moderating a marketplace with literally millions of active listings is an enormous technical challenge, and it's worth acknowledging that perfect enforcement at that scale might be functionally impossible for any company. But the Commission's investigators weren't just pointing at scale as an excuse. They specifically found that the recommendation algorithm was amplifying risky listings, which is a different claim entirely from simply missing a few bad actors. That's not a company failing to catch everything. That's a system reportedly optimized in a way that made the problem worse. So what happens now? AliExpress has until October 20th, 2026, to submit a detailed action plan explaining exactly how it intends to fix these issues. If regulators decide that plan doesn't go far enough, the company could face ongoing penalty payments with no fixed ceiling at all. Under the Digital Services Act, fines can theoretically reach up to 6% of a company's global annual revenue. For Alibaba, that theoretical maximum sits somewhere around 7 billion euros. In that context, 550 million euros, as massive as it sounds, is actually less than 1% of what the company could ultimately be facing if it doesn't get this right. Here's the bigger lesson in all of this. For years, the business model behind ultra-cheap, direct-from-factory shopping platforms has relied on speed and scale: more listings, more sellers, more products, faster. Regulation is now catching up to that model, and it's targeting the exact mechanism that made these platforms so successful in the first place: the recommendation algorithm deciding what you see first. When speed and scale are prioritized over safety, eventually someone has to pay for the gap that creates, and in this case, that bill just arrived, with the largest number attached to it in the short history of this entire law. Thanks for watching this backstory. If you found this one interesting, subscribe for more breakdown.